All right, I got here a 2018 Chevy Silverado. Customer complaint is intermittently the dash doesn't work, the cluster doesn't work at all, and the HVAC controls. Right now it's actually acting up. So right when I came, I figured, he told me it's probably not gonna act up, and then it acted up. So that's why I jumped right to this one first. I didn't pull this apart yet, but just wanted to just make sure it comes out easily, just in case. So now the engine light is the only thing that works. Okay, otherwise it's fully blank, but the car does start and run, no problem. Let me do a full scan on this. There's tons of aftermarket stuff. There was a plow on here. It's an auction car, so you know, there's a bunch of lights that don't work. There's a plow that's not connected, where all the wiring is. Alright, let's do a scan. There's no AC because the HVAC's not working. I'm assuming on CAN 1, the instrument cluster and the HVAC module, that's the two that we want to see if we have comp to. 5 codes in the DCM. I'm assuming we're not going to have communication. And we don't. Here's one HVAC and here's another. I don't know the difference, but this one has no communication either. We could just check what all these codes are while we're doing this. So in the body, right headlamp. Okay, there's a bunch of aftermarket lights. Lost count with instrument cluster. Let me go back here. Oh, so this one we do. This HVAC module we have communication with. Lost count with instrument. Lost communication with instrument cluster. Lost communication with device on limb bus. So this has communication. It's just not. Oh, actually no. These are the buttons. The buttons are probably what's on the LIN, but we have communication to the actual module. All right. Besides that, let's work on the cluster because we have no comp to that. So that'll be easier to chase. Okay, let me just save a report. All right. So here's the report. We have 83,469 miles according to this the miles from the computer. I don't know because the cluster doesn't work now. We just got a bunch of lost communication with cluster. So I'm going to go over after the cluster first. I'm not going to worry about the HVAC yet. It might be separate. It's probably not since they both happen together, but we're just going to chase the cluster first. All right, let me get a diagram. All right, we're going to pull up a diagram. So for network stuff, I like the OE ones. Information bus. All right, I don't know which network this is on, but they call it CAN 1. It's probably a low-speed CAN if I had to guess. Or maybe it's the chassis high-speed LAN, except E29. All right, I need to get in repair link. I have to pull up what this thing has. All right, I'm just putting the VIN into the repair link, and I just want to see if it has E29. It does not. Okay, so we need chassis high-speed GM LAN. Does this have the cluster on it? Inflatable restraint sensing module. Goes to the steering wheel angle. Serial data gateway. Power steering, data link connector, electronic brake, suspension, and power steering. No, so the cluster's not on here. We have L5P. JKL. Nope, just L96. Alright, so we're gonna do this one. 25 and 35 except E29L5P. Alright, engine control module, junction transfer case. Nope, not here either. Low speed GM line. Here, it's on this one. So this is its own network. There's like an isolated network. What do they call it? Gateway isolated low speed GM LAN. So this talks from the cluster. All these modules talk together. And the cluster is one of them. The cluster, the audio amplifier, radio, info display module, telematics communication, and media disk. But not the AC. So this is its own thing. The radio does work. Its screen's on at least. It's not pin 3. Alright, let me get a diagram just for the cluster itself. Okay. Let's first check the fuses. Even though I'm assuming they're good because it's intermittent. But the truth is, there was a lot of things plugged into the fuse box which they unplugged. So could be something just loose in the fuse box. So there's a cluster fuse, left instrument panel, fuse block, left side of dash. It has 2 fuses. One is IPC fuse 10 amp. Is right here. And any other fuses that feed it straight. Could also be a bad ground. But again, if it's a bad ground, the engine light does work. So I'm more thinking it's a network issue. Oh, it's also on the most serial data. So here's so it's on the most bus, and it's also on the low speed GM line, which we saw. And then it's also on most serial data. So there should be a third one over here. Most, let's see what's on the most bus. Media, interface, instrument cluster. So the most bus does connect to it. Alright, we gotta check this power right here. This power, so these 2 fuses, they're both in the left instrument panel fuse block, left side of the dash. Let's go look at that right now. Let me get test light. You see all these wires kind of just hanging out over here. Look at this. This doesn't look healthy. So here's the fuse box, I think. Alright, and we got some disconnected stuff. Alright, let's get the chart. We need the cluster fuse. IPC 10 amp 34. There's this guy. This 10 amp must be 34. Right here. Connect that to door jamb. We got power on that side. And power on that side. But, there we go. I touched the fuse. And, watch, I'm moving the fuse around. It's loose, I feel it. See? There we go. Not a network issue. Cluster's working, and the AC is working. It's on one fuse, so I gotta tighten this fuse up. See, right here, this fuse is loose. I'm letting go of it. It's dead, and we just touch it. I'm pushing on an angle, and everything's alive. Alright, that was easier than expected after seeing all these issues. I don't know. Look at this. This is a scary looking truck. There's a lot of things that looked like would be the problem, but it really is just this loose fuse. Alright, let me see if I can fix this. I can't get to the pins. What I'm gonna do for now is I'm gonna bend this a little bit, and I'm gonna tell them to either replace this or I made it much tighter. It's working. Alright, it's working now. Let me see, I'm gonna try to wiggle it. Wiggling the fuse back and forth. and it's good. It's not dying out. So the problem is it's loose terminals in the fuse box. Either they can replace the whole thing, or more than likely they're going to leave it. Just being honest. But I'm wiggling it, nothing's happening. All I did was I bent the contacts back a tiny drop, a little bit, and it's working. Let me just do another scan. Oh, at least now I have AC. Alright, we got comm with the cluster. HVAC module. Oh yeah, we didn't have, I don't remember which one we had communication with before. But now we have communication with both. Before we only had with one. Alright, I'm going to clear all these codes because they're all communication codes. Alright, let's restart it. All the lights are off. We have a clear tree. Alright, I'm going to call this semi-fix. I mean, it's a fix, but it was definitely the problem. Now, are they going to put this fuse box? Probably not. Maybe someone could get in there with little, I don't know, little needles and just tighten it. But yeah, that's about it. I'm also using a new camera because I lost my other camera, so I bought a new one. Then right after I bought it, I found the old one. So it's just a later model GoPro. Hopefully it's clear. But, alright. Thanks for watching.